Hello everyone, it's Shane Kanto, your Wasteland reviewer, and welcome to another edition of Ask Your Wasteland Reviewer. Now that I've cracked 600 subscribers on my YouTube channel and was the quickest 100 subscribers that I've ever gotten, so thank everybody who found my South Park post-COVID special review and absolutely made it blow up on Thanksgiving, because that was definitely a big part of it. But being able to get a chance to talk a little bit about different things than just sitting here reviewing a film or talking in depth about a film or asking other people questions, now it's my opportunity to get some questions from all of you, which I always enjoy. And hey, if you're watching this and you want to have questions included in a future Ask Your Wasteland Reviewer video, please put them in the comments or find me on Instagram, The Wasteland Reviewer, and message me there. But we're going to get things started. We have a couple from my fiance Jess because, as always, sometimes it's a struggle to get some questions from people. But she gave me a couple of questions that, are focusing on next year and this year in terms of film, because we're at that brink of turning the tide and switching things over. And, it's the end of 2021 and the beginning of 2022. What films am I most excited about, most anticipating coming into 2022? And after the trailer dropped, and my absolute love for Robert Eggers with both The Witch and The Lighthouse, The Northman is 100% at the top of that list. This feels like my Green Knight for 2022 because, oh my god, I could not wait for The Green Knight. So excited. And The Northman, especially after this trailer, looks absolutely bonkers. And I need it in my life right now. And between that and you have all of this time that I've spent digging deep into the cinema of Martin Scorsese, if it does indeed come out this year, The Killer's Flower Moon is definitely going to be at the top of my anticipation list because I want to see some more Scorsese. I want to see him do a Western, and I want to see him working with Jesse Plemons again, Leonardo DiCaprio, and Robert De Niro. All those things are super exciting. And then you have Jordan Peele coming back with Nope, which all you need is one word. That's all you need. And I'm excited to see that. Don't know anything about it, but Jordan Peele's enough for me. And then the big blockbuster side of things, I can't wait for the new Mission Impossible. So Mission Impossible 7 is going to be coming out. I was going to have John Wick Chapter 4, but that got pushed back to 2023, so we're going to have to wait a little bit longer. But I'm also a huge fan of Marvel, and there's 3 humongous films still scheduled for this year. We'll see if Wakanda Forever actually comes out with all the issues going on with the production and with the actors, specifically one of them who's not vaccinated and is causing a whole bunch of backups in terms of filming. But I cannot wait for Taika Waititi's follow-up to Ragnarok with Thor Love and Thunder. Bring it on. So excited. Ragnarok, Infinity War, and Endgame made me fall in love with Thor and become my second favorite Avenger right behind Captain America. And now we don't have Steve Rogers anymore, so bring on the Thor. But Multiverse of Madness, especially after that new teaser, and especially after No Way Home, I am so excited for that film. Sam Raimi directing it. This is going to be bonkers. And I know a lot of people are like, oh my god, I can't wait for this character, this character, this character. What I care about is I can't wait to see a crazy, well-directed, just pseudo-horror madness going on the screen, seeing Doctor Strange get to shine in his own film again, and seeing how Scarlet Witch fits in, and, we got Strange Supreme, creepy, and things got out of hand. So I'm excited about that. But a lot of things to be excited about in 2022. Then we have biggest surprises for 2021, and I do want to shamelessly plug an article that I just posted on Scribe Magazine as part of my Wasteland Watchlist series, which is my hidden gems of 2021, because generally it's the hidden gems are the ones that are the biggest surprises, right? Or the films that you thought were going to be straight trash and you're just like, oh. not straight trash. But for me, I think the biggest film, because even when I saw it originally, there was not a whole lot of buzz around it, was seeing Shiva Baby. And I absolutely love Shiva Baby. And blew me away watching that film. And was it Emma Seligman is such a talented director, and I cannot wait to see more from her. And another big one, and this is like really trying to put a spotlight on a film that I really enjoyed and got a chance to interview the three creators of this film, is Death Drop Gorgeous, which is a slasher flick about drag queens and a serial killer killing drag queens. And it's such a ball. It is so campy. It's so over the top. It's so cheesy in terms of its effects. All I'm going to say is Grinder with a... you know what? I'm just going to leave it to the imagination. You should go check out the film. It's so much fun. It's endlessly enjoyable and such a wonderful romp with great representation and just a bunch of fun. And I had such a blast with it, so I hope more people check that out. Biggest letdown of 2021. I'm trying to think of films that I thought were going to be like, oh, I'm going to love this. And Halloween Kills was towards the top of my most anticipated list. It made my top 10. And I just was not a fan of what happened in that film. It felt like a complete just holdover until Halloween Ends. And if they were going to just do two films, they should have just done two films. It felt, there's elements that I liked about it, but a lot of it just felt like really in your face and ridiculous and obnoxious and repetitive, and the evil dies tonight and all of that nonsense, and you sideline Laurie Strode the whole entire movie. So like, why was she even in this movie, to be perfectly frank? And like, there's one big heavy moment at the end, and you know, so many people in this film make really dumb decisions. And that's one of the cardinal sins of horror films, and you're just like, ah, come on. And so Halloween Kills, not a huge fan of. And I think another one, and I did actually enjoy this film, and the worst part was I watched these within like a couple weeks of each other, was Many Saints in Newark. Because like, I've watched like the first two seasons of The Sopranos, but as an Italian American from New Jersey, my body was ready. And watching it, I'm like, this was fine. And I wanted so much more from it, but the cast was great. The story just felt bloated and underdeveloped in so many ways, trying to balance too many things. And in the end, like, I would like to see more of this world. I just felt like that film kind of was a letdown a bit. And honestly, there's other films that, like, I didn't have the hugest expectations for. Like, I know a lot of people were disappointed by, like, Don't Look Up and Matrix Resurrections, but, like, I didn't have the biggest, like, expectations of them being great going in, especially after Vice, that I was very lukewarm about, and also, like, you know, the first Matrix is only, like, a great Matrix movie. So, like, I wasn't going into this movie being like, oh my god, this is going to be amazing. But, you know, it is what it is. So I had a couple there for you. I prefer to talk about the things that I do like. Now, I got a question from Adam, who's slowly becoming a pretty frequent collaborator on my channel, with now his second interview for Welcome to the Lost in the Wasteland that's going to be coming out. And he's going to be popping up on the Gangs of New York episode of Welcome to the Wasteland that'll be coming out soon. And he asked, have I thought about doing a podcast, like a legit podcast, and wanting to be a part of it? So, you know what? I'd be down for that, like actually making a podcast that like goes out, just audio onto a podcast, streaming services, you know, like Spotify and Amazon Music and iTunes and all those kinds of things. I would probably use Anchor, because all the times listening to the Cinephiles is just like, we're going to tell you a little bit about Anchor. And I think Anchor seems like a good bet, but like, I've tried to think about what I would want to do with a podcast, and either taking a deep dive into a particular film, because, you know, Cinephiles, love it. I think that would be interesting each week, or like depending on how often I do it, and or kind of being like talking about all the different kinds of films that I watched over like the past week or so, and trying to highlight some of the good ones, warnings for some of the bad ones, and something like that. I don't know. I would have to really think about the idea, but like I would definitely be open to it. And I'm always trying to find new content. I'm trying to experiment more on TikTok. So check out some of my new videos that are on the Wasteland Reviewer TikTok channel that also pop up on my story on Instagram as well. But the thing is, like, I'd definitely be interested. And you know what, Adam? You'd be a great co-host. So there you go. I have a couple of questions from some of the movie club. So my friend Joe, who is a recent member added to the movie club, wanted to ask who would direct your biography, my biopic. And I think I got asked this question before, and I said Francis Ford Coppola, because Italian American. But honestly, after watching so much Scorsese, I feel like Scorsese really understands my, like, being part of, like, an Italian-American family, and also the Catholicism and the Catholic guilt. All of that underneath. And that was a big part of my upbringing. And I think it would be really interesting because I feel like he would understand a lot of what I've been through. So I think he'd probably be one of the best directors to really flesh out my story and have an understanding of it and present it in a certain way. Obviously, having Scorsese do a biopic about you would be an absolute honor, but I just trying to, like, he seems like an easy pick, but even, I think specifically thinking about it from a perspective of, like, this is what I was trying to do and what my actual background is, I think that would be a really interesting choice, because really understanding what I've been through in my own life, because I can relate based off of seeing what he's portrayed in his own films. Now, my friend Vinny from the movie club asked, what written work that hasn't been adapted into a film would you want to see turned into a film? And I don't think that this has been, but I would say the Aeneid by Virgil. And I remember translating 8 out of 12 books of this from Latin to English in Latin Forum AP Latin. And that was a big part of my experience, and I felt so connected to the story because if you believe the mythology, the Trojans left Troy with Aeneas, and Aeneas took his trip around the Mediterranean, wound up in Italy, and his descendants were Romulus and Remus. They founded Rome. My great-grandfather, Senator Delali, was a Roman, came from Rome. And this is the story of my peoples before they were my peoples. And I think it would be such an interesting thing, too, because I love a good sword and sandal. It was funny because Joe asked, would I do something like Oh Brother, Where Art Thou? That kind of took that story and put it in another context. And my response was, I'm going to sword and sandal this shit. So I would definitely make a sword and sandal version of this story true to the actual work from Virgil. But, I think it would be interesting to try to find, because, it's an immigrant story. So I think it would be something that you could easily translate into a modern context. But I would definitely want to do the sword and sandal thing, because we don't get a whole lot of great ones anymore, or even just a whole lot of them in general, and I think it would be pretty cool to have a nice big one coming. And my buddy Griff decided to ask me a different kind of question, which I appreciated because I don't just watch movies, I have other things that I do as well, and he asked about game consoles and what I've been playing lately. And so, I presently own 2 consoles. I do also play a lot of Pokemon Go on my phone. So, actually, you know what? Like, I've been doing a lot of the Go Battle League lately. I haven't done a whole lot, like, walking around and actually playing COVID stuff. And, it's cold. And my fiance doesn't want to go out when it's cold. But the thing is, it's like, I do play a lot of that. I've been trying to catch up on Go Battle League and trying to rank up. I think I'm ace level now. Haven't gotten much higher than that. I'm decent at Go Battle League and Pokemon Go. But, you know, did some raids tonight, like I did some Kyurem and stuff like that. But in general, that's probably the thing I play the most. But I'm sitting here with my GameCube sitting right across there, and I only own 3 games left for it. I own Super Smash Bros. Melee, because why not? You gotta. I had my guy Ganondorf when he was still a badass, before they nerfed the hell out of him in Brawl. And now, I still feel like I can use him pretty well, and I chokeslam the hell out of everybody. And sometimes commit suicide off the side. My other brother John shared a meme on Facebook recently that I felt personally attacked about. So basically, so you're Ganondorf person's like, so you're into suicide. Because, yeah, you wind up killing yourself a lot playing Ganondorf. But, you know, you do your best. But I have Melee, I have MVP Baseball 2005, the greatest baseball game ever made. And I will argue anybody who tries to bring up the show or 2K or any of that crap, nothing beats MVP Baseball 2005. And before it got corrupted, I made it all the way up to like the 2030 season, I think, and I played every single game. I didn't really have friends going up. Spent a lot of time playing MVP Baseball. And Randy Johnson was still in it. My favorite player of all time. So that makes me happy. Except in that one, I had him. We won the World Series and then he retired. I'm like, what? And I also have Yu-Gi-Oh! Falsebound Kingdom with it, which is a real-time strategy game moving your teams of dual monsters across a map in a virtual reality game with a turn-based RPG-style battling system in it. And I love that game. I've played that inside out. And my brother even made a meme about it with the Boromir memes, like, one does not simply get all of your monsters up to level 99 in Falsebound Kingdom. I'm like, I do. So I've definitely spent a lot of time playing that. But more modern, I do have a Switch, and I do have a decent amount of games that I really need to get back into playing. I think I got really close to getting all the Pokemon in Pokemon Sword, but like, you know, you gotta wait for other people, and I think my fiance never really finished the game, so I never got the rest of the Pokemon that I needed to fill out the Pokedex from Shield. I did get a Fire Emblem game from my very good friend Dave, which I need to play more of. He is a huge Fire Emblem fan, so if you ever want to talk Fire Emblem, I know a guy. But the most recent game that I've been playing was the new Pearl remake. And I'm on Victory Road. I haven't played in weeks. I got really caught up in doing a lot more writing and wrapping up the school semester. And honestly, I could have used some of this time this week to play some. And I should probably do that this weekend. At least take out the Elite Four and take down the champion. Because, you know, I'm just dragging my feet at this point. But I'm a huge Pokemon fan. I did also get the trilogy pack of the Mario games with like Mario 64, and I was playing a little bit of that. That brings back so much nostalgia going to our neighbors, the Wallaces, and playing that game over there because we didn't actually own it. But I played the hell out of that game. It's such a classic. I love that game so much. But obviously, as you can tell, I'm very much a Nintendo person. I've always been. I've had other consoles, but to the core, I've always been a Nintendo person, and I have plenty of games. I love playing the South Park games, Stick of Truth and the Fractured Butthole, and the Crash Bandicoot racing games, and I had the Crash Bandicoot, his remastered trilogy, which I'm not very good, like, I am a mediocre gamer at best. There's certain games where I'm like a savant. Like, I play Falsebound Kingdom inside out and absolutely destroy that game. But besides that, there's only a handful of games I'm like really good at, and besides them, I'm just like, I'm fine at best. You know, I play Smash, and like I said before, I main Ganondorf. So that probably tells you a lot. I don't defend very well, so I need to take a lot of damage. And also, I am definitely a tank. I am a heavy. I, like, go big or go home. If I could hit a warlock punch and knock out 5 people at the same time, that's the best. But that's really my gaming. So, hey, hopefully you enjoyed that. And if you ask questions like, I love music, I watch TV, I was an avid reader for most of my life, and, you know, other kinds of things. I'm a sports fan. I love baseball. I love football. Mostly baseball. I'm a New York Giants fan, so, like, sad. I'm also an Arizona Diamondbacks fan. Even sadder. So I could talk all those kinds of things. So if you ever have questions about those too, you could always ask. Or, you know, I supervise tutoring and I teach statistics at a college level. I'm going to be teaching some management info systems this semester. And there's a lot of different things that, like, I could talk about. So if you ever have questions and want to partake in one of these Ask Your Wasteland Reviewer, always just leave some questions, especially on this video, and I'll use them next time, hopefully when I crack 700 subscribers. But those are all my questions this time, and I hope that you all enjoyed this video and enjoyed getting to know me a little bit more and hearing some of my perspectives, especially on current cinema. But I want to thank all of you for always supporting me and helping me get this far. I can't believe I finally hit 600 subscribers. To be perfectly honest, the first couple of years doing this, I never thought this was going to blow up at all. But, you know, I get to do so much with my YouTube channel, my Instagram, my TikTok now, doing some more things with that, and all the great opportunities that I have with Sif Pop as a staff writer, doing a lot of reviews, my Buried Treasure articles every month, now with Scribe Magazine, having 2 series where I have the Wasteland Vintage Roadshow, where I take a deep dive into a particular film and build out the context and the personalization of it. And my Wasteland watch list where, you know, I write some full reviews for new films that I love, and doing some other things, like some of these lists of, like, Wasteland watch lists, like holiday films that I did for Christmas, and some hidden gems. I'm going to be having one for my top 10 films of 2021, and I also get to do some videos on their YouTube channel, and then, of course, Scare Magazine and moviehole.net as well. And keep a lookout, because my friend Matt, who's probably my most frequent collaborator, will be popping on, and we'll be doing our top 10 of 2021. We haven't done it in like 2 years. I'm super excited about it. So getting to do that together. And now I'm going to stop yapping, but it really means a lot, you all actually coming on here and, you know, watching my videos and caring about what I think. Because, you know, I'm just a guy who does this for fun. Put a lot of effort in for just fun, but, you know, I love film, and if I can get some recommendations out to people and get them to check out some new films and show some new films some love, that means a lot to me. So thank you all for always supporting me, and thank all of you out there for always tuning in and supporting the Wasteland Reviewer.